Have you ever had that gut feeling, that sinking sensation in your stomach that tells you something is terribly wrong? I lived with that feeling for months. It started with small things. My girlfriend, let's call her Sarah, started working late more often. Her phone, which used to be left lying around, was suddenly glued to her hand, screen down. When I asked, it was always just work stress or tired excuses. I wanted to believe her. I really did. We had been together for 5 years. We were building a life together, or so I thought. But the little lies, the inconsistencies, they started piling up until I couldn't ignore them anymore. One evening, she said she was going out with her girlfriends. A classic, right? Something inside me just snapped. I knew she was lying, so I did something I never thought I'd do. I decided to follow her. It felt surreal, like I was in a bad movie. I watched her drive not to the downtown bar where her friends were, but to a fancy hotel on the other side of town. My heart was pounding out of my chest as I parked and watched from a distance. A few minutes later, a man I recognized as her boss pulled up. He got out of his car, she got out of hers, and they embraced. A long, intimate embrace that shattered every illusion I had. They walked into the hotel together, hand in hand. In that moment, a strange calm washed over me. The anger, the hurt, it was all there, but it was overshadowed by a cold clarity. I didn't storm in. I didn't make a scene. I just sat in my car, took a few deep breaths, and started planning. My revenge wasn't going to be about shouting or breaking things. It was going to be quiet, precise, and utterly devastating. You see, Sarah and I were in the process of buying a house together. All our finances were intertwined, and I had been handling all the paperwork, all the details. She trusted me completely, never bothering to read the fine print, and that was her biggest mistake. Over the next few weeks, I became the most attentive, loving boyfriend you could imagine. I made her favorite dinners, listened to her complain about her stressful work, and agreed with everything she said. All the while, behind the scenes, I was a machine. I met with lawyers. I carefully and legally restructured our joint assets. With the help of my lawyer, I drafted new agreements. I prepared documents that would transfer the majority of our shared savings into a new account solely in my name. Timed perfectly to go through the day after the house closing. I made sure every single I was dotted and every T was crossed. She was so caught up in her double life, she signed everything I put in front of her without a second glance. "Just tell me where to sign, babe," she'd say, flashing a smile that used to make my heart melt, but now just made my stomach turn. The day we closed on the house was the grand finale. She was ecstatic, talking about paint colors and furniture. We went out for a celebratory dinner. She was on her phone a lot, texting. I knew who it was. She excused herself to call her mom and share the good news. I watched her walk outside, her face lit up by her phone screen, laughing. When she came back to the table, I just looked at her. I didn't say a word. I simply slid a single envelope across the table. Confused, she opened it. Inside wasn't a celebratory card. It was a printed photo. A crystal clear picture of her and her boss kissing outside that hotel. I had hired a private investigator the day after I first saw them. Her face went completely pale. Before she could even speak, I slid another set of papers across the table. Bank statements showing the new account balances. A copy of the legal separation of assets she had so carelessly signed. Her name wasn't on the house deed. It was only on the mortgage liability for the initial application, which I had already refinanced solely in my name. She had nothing. I finally spoke. "I know everything," I said, my voice calm and steady. "And now you have nothing. The house is mine. The savings are mine. All you have are the memories you made with him. I hope they were worth it." I stood up, left enough cash on the table to cover the meal, and walked out of the restaurant without looking back. Never saw or heard from her again. Sometimes the best revenge isn't loud. It's the quiet, calculated execution of a plan that leaves them with the one thing they gave you: absolutely nothing. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, know that you're not alone, and you will get through it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.